Some mornings, the world feels full of energy, and you want to feel right there with it. You sit down to a breakfast that has always been your standard, perhaps a bowl of oatmeal or a piece of whole wheat toast, expecting it to carry you through your morning walk or a project in the garden. But as the hours pass, you might notice that the energy you were counting on has turned into a heavy, lingering fatigue. It is a confusing experience because you're doing exactly what the health books have told you to do for years. This mismatch between what we eat and how we feel is one of the most common challenges we face as our metabolism matures. We are told to eat balanced meals, but the definition of balance seems to shift just when we think we've found our footing. It can leave you feeling hesitant about every carbohydrate on your plate, wondering if that potato or slice of bread is a friend or a hidden source of strain. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what balanced carbs actually look like for an aging metabolism, and how to build a plate that finally gives you back your steadiness. We are going to move past the simple labels of good and bad and look at how your body now processes fuel. Understanding this shift is the key to reclaiming your morning clarity and your afternoon strength. It is about evolving your habits to match the wisdom of your body's current rhythm. Have you ever felt like you were working harder than ever to stay healthy, yet the results felt further away than they used to be? That frustration is a signal, not a sign of decline, but a call for a more sophisticated approach to nourishment. It is an acknowledgement that the all-purpose advice of the past doesn't quite fit the precision your body requires after 60. To find our new balance, we first have to look at how our internal fuel tank has changed. As we age, our muscle mass naturally undergoes a shift, becoming slightly less efficient at absorbing glucose from our meals. Think of your muscles as the primary sponge for the energy found in carbohydrates. If that sponge is a bit smaller or less absorbent than it once was, the energy stays in your bloodstream longer, leading to those spikes and crashes that leave you feeling drained. This doesn't mean we should fear carbohydrates. Our brains and hearts still rely on them as their primary fuel. But it does mean we have to look at the delivery speed of that fuel. In our younger years, we could handle high-speed energy, the kind found in white breads or sugary cereals, because our metabolism could process it nearly as fast as it arrived. Now we need our energy to arrive as a slow, predictable stream, allowing our system to keep pace. In addition to speed, we have to consider the volume of our carbohydrate choices in relation to their quality. This brings us to a concept that is much more useful than the glycemic index alone, the glycemic load. While the index tells us how fast a food spikes our sugar, the glycemic load tells us how much total sugar is actually in a serving. It is a more practical, human-centered way of looking at our food that accounts for the reality of our portions. For example, a slice of dense seeded bread might have a similar glycemic index to a piece of white toast, but the load is entirely different because of the fiber and protein it carries. The fiber acts as a natural speed limit, ensuring that the carbohydrates don't overwhelm your system all at once. This is why senior health tips often emphasize complex carbs. They are simply fuels that come with their own built-in moderation system. Imagine a quiet Sunday afternoon where you've decided to make a hearty vegetable soup for lunch. You decide to add a handful of beans and a side of sourdough bread, thinking it's a perfectly balanced meal. But an hour later, you find yourself needing a nap just to function. This happens because even healthy carbs can hit hard if they aren't balanced by the right proportions of other nutrients. Which brings us to the but of our daily nutrition. We need carbohydrates for energy, and we need them to be high quality, but even high-quality carbs can spike our sugar if eaten alone, so we must learn the art of pairing. Pairing is the secret language of a stable metabolism. It is the practice of never letting a carbohydrate travel through your system without a chaperone. That chaperone is almost always a healthy fat or a high-quality protein. When you pair a potato with a piece of salmon, or your morning oats with a handful of walnuts, you change the biological impact of that meal. The fat and protein slow down the stomach's emptying process, which in turn slows the absorption of the carbohydrates. It is a simple adjustment that can turn a heavy meal into a grounding, supportive experience. Have you noticed how much more alert you feel when your meals have a bit of staying power from protein and fat? That alert feeling is your brain thanking you for providing a steady, reliable flow of glucose. It is the difference between a flickering candle and a steady, bright lamp. When our energy is reliable, our confidence in our day grows along with it. In addition to pairing, we have to look at the order in which we eat our food. Recent metabolic research suggests that eating your vegetables and proteins before your carbohydrates can significantly reduce the blood sugar spike of that meal. It's as if the fiber and protein lay down a protective layer in your digestive tract, preparing it to handle the incoming energy with more grace. This is a powerful, invisible tool that requires no changes to what you eat, only to how you eat it. This brings us to our next topic: the unique role of fiber in the aging gut. Fiber is more than just a tool for digestion. It is a metabolic regulator that helps maintain our insulin sensitivity over time. Soluble fiber, found in foods like beans, lentils, and citrus fruits, turns into a gel-like substance that catches sugar and prevents it from rushing into the blood. For a metabolism over 60, this gel is like having an internal stabilizer that keeps everything on an even keel. However, we often don't get enough of this vital reinforcement. The average senior diet is often lower in fiber than it should be, partly because our appetites can naturally decrease. This means that every bite we take needs to be more nutrient-dense. We are looking for foods that provide the maximum amount of support with the minimum amount of metabolic strain. Which leads us to a moment many of us have experienced during a busy week. You're out running errands and realize you've skipped your usual mid-morning snack. By the time you get home, you're starving, and you grab the first thing you see, perhaps a handful of crackers or a piece of fruit. You eat it quickly, but instead of feeling better, you feel a sudden, sharp irritability that wasn't there before. This is what you'd call a classic protein gap moment. The carbohydrate hit your empty system without any support, causing a rapid spike that your body struggled to manage. In those moments, the best senior health tips suggest reaching for a small piece of cheese or a few olives alongside that cracker. That tiny addition acts as a stabilizer, preventing the hangry feeling and restoring your emotional balance. Have you ever felt frustrated by a sudden shift in your mood that seemed to come out of nowhere? Often, those emotional swings are actually metabolic swings in disguise. When our fuel is unstable, our patience and our focus are the first things to pay the price. By balancing our carbs, we aren't just caring for our bodies, we are protecting our peace of mind. Another area where balanced carbs make a profound difference is in our sleep quality. A dinner that is too high in simple carbohydrates can lead to a rebound drop in blood sugar in the middle of the night. This drop triggers the body to release cortisol, the stress hormone, to bring the sugar back up, which can wake you up at 2 or 3 a.m. On the flip side, balanced dinners with complex carbs and plenty of protein help keep that nighttime energy level, allowing you to stay in the deep, restorative stages of sleep. In addition to sleep, balanced carbohydrates support our long-term bone and joint health. Chronic spikes in blood sugar can lead to the formation of compounds called AGEs, which can damage the collagen in our joints and skin. By keeping our blood sugar in a narrow, healthy range, we are literally preserving the flexibility of our bodies. It is an act of long-term maintenance that pays dividends in how we move and feel every single day. Which brings us to the idea of metabolic flexibility, the body's ability to switch between burning sugar and burning fat for fuel. As we age, we want to maintain this flexibility so that we aren't constantly dependent on the next hit of carbohydrates to feel okay. This is achieved by giving our system regular periods of rest and by choosing foods that don't force us onto a blood sugar roller coaster. It is a state of being where you are the master of your energy, rather than a passenger to your cravings. Have you noticed that your best days are the ones where you don't even think about food until it's time for your next meal? That quiet stomach and steady mind are the ultimate markers of a balanced metabolism. It means your body is efficiently using the fuel you've provided, and it doesn't feel the need to send out an emergency signal for more sugar. It is a place of metabolic freedom that is well within your reach. In addition to physical habits, there's a mental component to finding this balance. We have to move away from the dieting mindset that has been pushed on us for decades. Nourishing an aging metabolism is not about restriction or deprivation, It is about providing reinforcement. It is a shift from, "I can't have this," to, "How can I make this work best for me?" This sense of agency is incredibly powerful as we navigate our senior years. It reminds us that we have the wisdom to listen to our bodies and the tools to respond with care. Every balanced plate is a small victory for your independence and your future strength. It is a commitment to showing up for your life with everything you've got. As you look at your meals this coming week, try to think of your plate as a team. The carbohydrates are the energy providers, but they need the support of the protein defenders and the fat stabilizers to do their job well. When the whole team is present, the result is a game that is played with ease and confidence. You'll find that you have more energy for the people and activities that bring you joy. Try starting one meal a day with your vegetables first, and notice how it changes the way you feel an hour later. Or experiment with a new high-fiber grain like farro or buckwheat and see how it sustains you differently than white rice. These small, gentle experiments are the path to a personalized version of balance that works specifically for you. There is no perfect plate, only the one that makes you feel steady, strong, and like yourself. Have you ever felt a profound sense of relief when you finally understood how a part of your body worked? That relief is a form of healing in itself, as it removes the stress of uncertainty. By understanding the why behind balanced carbs, you've taken a major step toward a more vibrant, capable future. You are providing your body with the respect and the resources it has earned over a lifetime of service. The journey of health after 60 is a process of fine-tuning, a constant adjustment to a changing landscape. But within that change lies a tremendous opportunity for growth and discovery. You are learning to nourish the person you are today, with all the wisdom and resilience you've gathered along the way. And that is a standard worth striving for every single day. Every day is another chance to care for the body that's carried you this far. Keep learning, keep moving, keep believing in your own strength. Because aging isn't slowing down, it's leveling up. If today's message resonated, take a moment to subscribe, leave a thought in the comments, or share this video with someone who could use a little encouragement. Because together, we're proving that aging well isn't the exception, it's the standard.